Start with your name.
My name is Russell Positive.
Okay. And Russell, we just were at this Tiger Bay debate about the medical marijuana amendment number 2. And what points do you think the viewer needs to know?
The points I think that are important are that the type of number one, the type of marijuana that is going to be offered when these pot shops, and that's what I call them, I guess there's other names for them, but these clinics open, is going to be a very, very high THC. It's nothing like the type of marijuana that people smoked in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even the 90s. There's some stronger stuff out now, but the stuff that's coming out now is very, very high THC. It's a strong psychotropic drug. There are calls coming into emergency rooms and help centers now from young children being gravely affected by the psychotropic effects of this high THC pot. So this is not something that I believe that we want for our children. I certainly don't want my children to have more easy access to any drug. I certainly don't want the alcohol laws to be weakened, and I don't want pot to be more readily available in very, very high doses. So there's a lot more to say about that, but that's it kind of in a nutshell.
But it seems to me prescription drugs, kids that possibly might take the drugs out of their parents' medicine cabinet, or maybe their friends at school are getting them from their parents and taking those. Those have high rates of accidental overdoses and serious damage, whereas by most accounts they say that medical marijuana is essentially impossible to OD on. So wouldn't it be better to have, so in a lot of respects it's safer, they'd both be regulated, they're both going to be regulated as a medical drug. So I fail to see how one would be worse than what we already have with the prescription drug.
Well, it depends on what the definition of OD is. If my child smokes high THC marijuana and has a psychotic break, as has been known to happen, this is not, you see everybody...
I'm not saying that, but...
The PR on marijuana has been such that, it's just a laid-back, hippie who goes, oh yeah, man, everything is cool. That's not what it is anymore. It's just not what it is. So that's the PR on marijuana. Marijuana is not harmless. It's not a harmless drug. And I just want, I got what you said about those other drugs. Right. Those other drugs should be controlled more. Drugs, do have a place where they're administered properly, but we as a society have failed to control them. Witness the pill mills in Florida. Now, the Attorney General got a hold of that issue, and we got, we really got a handle on it now.
Right.
Go ahead.
But let me ask you about the other end of the spectrum, because for medical uses, I know there's people in extreme pain that don't like the medications provided by the industry because they're trying to work and live a life, and they can't on those drugs. And I've met these people through the years, and they're halfway not there, Now, if they make some of these strains of medical marijuana, these people don't want to get high. They want a version that'll reduce pain and have no side effects. So I think that the possibility of more of those types being developed will go up drastically as the use of medical marijuana goes up. So what do you say about that aspect?
This is what I say. If the purpose of this bill was to help those people, which I do not rail against at all, I agree with you. Someone in pain and someone who can use medical marijuana, quote unquote, in a effective way and an ethical way, I'm all for that. But if the purpose of this bill was for that, then it wouldn't have been written as it is, so open-endedly, that someone can get a letter from a physician, whatever that is, for anything. I can go to a physician and say, I have lower back pain. I want marijuana to handle my lower back pain. And I get a bag of high THC joints to
Right.
take home, and where do you think they're going to go? Where do you think that high THC marijuana is going to go? Do you think that I'm going to just have that in my rec room and smoke it myself? No. Some people will, or they'll have marijuana parties, but it's going to go out on the market at a premium price. It's going to flood. We're going to be flooded.
Well, it sounds
with
like an argument for legalization for recreational
No, it sounds like
use.
it sounds like an argument for not legalization.
So that
and that's
would mean-
what this is,
so if
and
you're
that's
on-
what this is all about. It's all about
But then you come
legalization.
back- then you come full
it's
circle.
not about medical marijuana. You think for 1 minute that Morgan or any of the people who are behind this, who put millions and millions of dollars into this, care about that? You think that they care about that? Morgan had they're buying
let's get back
land
to
in
the
Sarasota now
initial-
where they can grow this.
Well, I interviewed
There's
some
gonna
of the
be millions
the
of dollars
moms.
made on this.
I interviewed 3 of the moms whose kids have the seizures. So you're saying heck with them?
No, I'm not saying heck with them. I'm saying that if we wanted to handle these people who are legitimate, we would have, first of all, not needed a constitutional amendment.
Right.
And it wouldn't have been written, if we did need that, it wouldn't have been written in an open-ended way.
Okay, do you
as
think
it
we
is.
needed that for those patients?
No, I don't think we needed it to be written the way it was written. I think that the patients...
Do you think that patients with cancer should be allowed to have...
Absolutely.
Okay, now whose job was it to do that, to make it legal for them? The
Well,
state
the
legislature.
the legislature-
Right? Why did this amendment come about? It's because, you could say, because they failed to write
This is what
those
they
laws.
say. This is
right?
what they say. No, it's really not.
I haven't heard
it's
anybody
really
say
not.
that.
No. You know, you have to be able to separate out the truth from the PR. You see, PR is what we hear. The propaganda is what
So
we
you're
hear.
saying the
with the
legislature
people
was
with the
working.
most money who send out the most messages on radio. So the PR is what people begin to believe. Look, we're inundated politically. They do groups where they find out what people think and what they agree with, and then we get hit with the button, and everybody's like a robot reacting to these stimulus response messages.
Right.
So the PR and the truth are often very, very different. Right?
I'm just asking if the state legislature had a responsibility to write laws
all have a
to allow the
responsibility.
treatment for medical use marijuana that addressed all of your concerns. Why didn't they do that?
Well, I don't know. I didn't talk to anybody in the legislature, and the
They didn't
writing
do it
of changing our constitution and the open-ended writing of this bill does not ethically address what needs to be done. We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. We are putting our whole entire society at risk by doing this, because the people with the money, believe me, the lawyers, when you know what they say, okay, you don't want me to talk about lawyers?
No,
you know
that's
what
fine.
They
I
say?
just want to have a short clip. That's all, and I appreciate
This
your
is
input.
good. It's not short. We've been going a long time.
Well, I know. That's why. Well, thank you very much for your feedback. I do appreciate that.
I appreciate
this will
talking
be
to
on,
you.
on YouTube on Chatterbox. Thanks.
Okay.